Good morning and welcome to the ADA Securities Markets Update. Beginning with the Asian session today, there were three economic data releases from China and Australia. In China, non-manufacturing PMI eased back for the first time in 3 months, declining to 55 in June, down from 55.5 in May. In Australia, the Australian dollar tumbled across the board on the disappointment figure from China and Australia as well. Australia's retail sales unexpectedly fell by 0.5% in May, which is the first monthly decline since May of last year and the biggest decline since September of 2012. However, the good news came in from the building approvals, which increased by 9.9%, which is the biggest jump since October of last year as well, while it had been anticipated to rise by 3.1% only. The Aussie dollar also slipped back to as low as 0.9370s, down from 9440s. And as for the European session ahead, there are a collection of economic figures will be released in addition to the key event from the ECB. The services PMIs will be released for Italy, Spain, the Eurozone and the UK, and most of these figures are expected to be higher in June comparing to the previous reading in May. The Eurozone also retail sales is expected to rise by 0.3% in May, comparing to a rise of 0.4% in late April. The ECB decision will be released at 11:45 GMT time. We expect no change in the minimum bit rate in this meeting. The ECB is likely to wait and see for further economic releases before moving further. However, we will be focusing also on the ECB press conference at 12:30 GMT time, while Mario Draghi is unlikely to wait on the euro or to change the current rising trend. As for the US session today, Canada's retail sales will be released. The expectation points to narrowing deficit back to 0.3 billion in May compared to 0.6 billion in late April. And in the US, there are around 5 economic releases today. The main focus will be on the US jobs report, of course. The economy is expected to add more than 214,000 new jobs in June, comparing to 212,000 in April, while unemployment rate is expected to remain unchanged at 6.3%. On the other hand, jobless claims may rise slightly to 314,000 last week, up from 312,000 the week before. The trade balance deficit also may decline slightly to minus 45.1 billion, down from minus 47.2 billion. And finally, the ISM non-manufacturing PMI may decline slightly to 56.2, down from 56.3. Despite all these figures from the US dollar also is unlikely to rise significantly. The dollar rally is likely to be short-lived before the downside pressure continues. We will be publishing a special report on these key events today, and you can follow us on our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, to get the latest economic releases, reports and these special reports. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. I will see you once again tomorrow.